in your 50s and 60s, like our mom them, right? Because some of our moms didn't play the game right. And yes, you move into your husband's house and, your husband is paying all the bills and you didn't think about securing your own future, meaning the Next Door Podcast. Welcome back to the Next Door Podcast. I am Bestie Next Door, and I'm like your bestie next door. If you like your tea to be extra, extra sweet, then this place is not for you. Because we like our tea to be sweet and bitter. Sweet enough that it goes down, bitter enough to wake us up. Guys, I'm back again, and I'm very excited to be back, and I'm trying my hardest to be as consistent as possible. Again, like I said, 1 episode a week. I know I'm late on posting this replay, and I know I'm late on actually coming live to do my episode, but I was going through a lot of things behind closed doors and I was filming a lot and I was very tired. I had a lot of running around to do, so I couldn't come on the day that I said I was going to come on. I just want to jump into today's topic because today's topic is very interesting and it's needed to be spoken on. We're talking about 10 things women should know before getting married. I know. We all online, we talk about, before having a man's child, you should have the ring, but yada, 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 yada. Everybody's talking about, just being a wife and, we need to start promoting marriage. But there's things that us women need to know before getting married. And it's really important for you to understand this. And one thing my father told me about marriage is compatibility. Compatibility is one of the most important things when getting married. If you and the person is not compatible before the marriage, trust and believe is going to end in divorce. So that's the reason why I was like, you know what? I feel called to talk about 10 things women should know and do before getting married. The first one is know yourself first. I feel like most times a lot of women tend to rush into relationships because they ignore the work they need to do on themselves. I want you guys to understand that as you are maturing and as you are growing, being accountable goes a long way. When you are accountable for your actions and the way you make other people feel, and when you do something wrong, that means you're ready for growth. That's the only way for you to grow, is by being accountable. And before you even get married, the first thing you need to know is yourself. You need to know yourself. You don't want to be discovering who you are in the marriage. You want to know who you are before, because when you know who you are before, you know the type of man you need. Who are you outside of a relationship? Who are you? A lot of women don't even know who they are outside of a man, and that's sad. You should know who you are outside of a man. So who are you outside of a relationship? What do you want for your life? I know that's a hard question for women to answer, because a lot of times when you ask a woman, what does she want to eat? She don't know what she want to eat. What do you want? And at least 85% of women don't even know what they want. Know what the fuck they want? You need to know what you want out of life, and you need to know who you are outside of a man. Those are the two most important things. The second thing is, do you want kids? It's okay if you don't want kids. I don't know why women just love to bully other women into wanting kids. If you don't want kids, that's very okay. Do you want kids? How many kids do you want? How do you want your kids to be loved? Now, a lot of women don't even know how many kids they want. They don't know how they want their child to be loved. And then they get mad at the father that they decide to pick for their kids. You need to know how you want your kids to be loved. How do you want your kids to be loved? How do you want the man to present himself in that child's life? What are your core values? Like for me, there's certain things it's non-negotiable. My kids must go to the best schools. My kids must go on vacations. Non-negotiable. If a man does not feel like what you value is important, there's no reason why you're marrying him. It's not going to work. Stop ignoring red flags and thinking that when you marry that man, it's going to turn green. Red flags never turn green. It only gets redder. Yeah. Red flags never turn green. It only gets redder. That's what's leading to a lot of divorces nowadays, because people are, I think once we get married, it's going to be better. I just want to be a wife. Stop just wanting to be a wife. Put yourself first. Your happiness matters. You don't want to be, old and unhappy with 2 kids all because you didn't make the right decisions. And it's not about, but what happens if I never get the good guy? You're going to find a guy that's for you. It's not about getting the most perfect guy. It's about having a guy that fits your lifestyle and what you want for your life. Because best to believe, these men are always choosing wives, whether they're ugly, fat, skinny, whatever. They choose wives that they feel like fits their lifestyle. So it's very important for you to know what you want in your life, who who you are, how you want your kids to be loved. Amen? Amen. Now, the next thing, which I already said, was if you don't know who you are, marriage will feel like you're losing yourself instead of gaining a partner. Now, before you even decide to get into a relationship, the first question you need to ask yourself is, have you taken time to heal and grow before entering a lifelong commitment? This goes back to what I've been telling you guys all year about self-development and really spending time with yourself. You know what I mean? Because a lot of you always shift the blame to say it's the man's fault, but a lot of you don't realize that you are the one messing up the relationship. Yeah. Your shitty habits, your ability to not take accountability, you not being able to listen to understand is the reason why you're not having fulfilling relationships. Stop blaming these men. Listen, you can't tell me that all men are trash. All men don't listen. I see all the women, oh yeah, men are like this, they don't do this. And I look and I'm like, these women are pointing their fingers, but it's like, you have to ask yourself, if every relationship you get in does not work, you are the problem. You're literally the problem. You got to ask yourself, what is my problem? Like, why is it that every relationship I get into, they ghost me, they leave me, or it doesn't last long? That means I'm the problem. Some women think they're so good. I'm a good woman. You're not a good woman. If you're a good woman, why aren't you in a fulfilling relationship? You are the problem. And you have to understand who you are, what you can do to be better. And it's not about being perfect, but it's about accountability, which is what a lot of women lack. So again, it goes back to what I was saying about knowing yourself first and healing and seeing the patterns in your past relationships before you get married. Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? I want to give you guys this test. Think about what all the men you dated, exes, situationships, think about the one thing they all said about you. Like if they say, oh, you don't listen, oh, you're too masculine, that is your problem. That is what you need to work on. If someone commented and said, it's not always men, ladies, sometimes you need to work on your issues. Exactly. And a lot of women don't want to work on their issues. They rather shift the blame because, again, they lack accountability. Now, the next one, financial independency is non-negotiable. Before you even get into a marriage, have your own money. Please. I'm saying it from experience. You guys know my situation about my ex-fiance. I don't like to keep repeating the story, but I know a lot of you are new to me. Some of you may be hearing me for the first time. Have your own money. The internet, the content that's going on is about dating men with money, but it's not a lot of women talking about having your own money and, making sure you're financially stable before you're getting married. Do not marry a man with money and be broke. I'm going to say that again. Do not marry a man with money and be broke. Even if you are broke when you meet him, take his money, make more money for yourself, and then marry him. Because you know why? When you enter a relationship and you are financially dependent on a man and now you're married to him, you're in for a ride. You're in for a ride. Trust and believe. You are in for a ride. You want his family to respect you. You want his family to say, oh, wow, she got her own thing. She's not only just depending on him for everything she's doing. You want them to have respect. They're not going to respect you when they know you don't have shit going on and all you're doing is sitting at home depending on him to give you the money for the next meal. When you meet him and he has money, the first thing you got to think about is, oh, shit, this is my opportunity. As he's giving me money, because in the beginning, when you meet a man with money, the first thing they do is spoil you with money because why? They want to grab you in, right? So because you listen to Bestie Next Door, you're a smart ass bitch. You take the money, forget about the shoes and the bags because you can always buy shoes and bags. What you should focus on first is financial stability. Use his money, multiply. Make sure you have your business started. Make sure you have something that you know that's always bringing you income. And then you can marry him because it's like, okay, I'm financially stable because you want to make sure at any given time you can afford to leave. That's what these girls online is not telling you. They're not telling you about the times when the man is punching them in between the washer and dryer because they know they're broke. They're not telling you about when the man is insulting them because they know they have no money, they have nowhere to go. I was like that. 2018, that was 2018 Bestie. When my ex-fiance knew I had no money, bitch, I was collecting insults for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And what was I gonna do? Nothing, because what? You couldn't leave. But you know me? I'm from Brooklyn. He forgot. And I will always say this story because I love this story because I love that God put me through that because everything I'm saying it backed by facts. I'm not just saying it from thin air. I'm telling you guys real life shit. Like when I off my camera, what happens in real life because there's the internet and then there's real life. But because I was smart ass girl, I was able to get out of it. What did I do? You guys already know. Brooklyn girl, ski mask. That watch? Yeah, I'm selling it because I'm out of here. Because I was taking too much insults, abuse, financial abuse. I couldn't do it no more. So when I'm saying these things to you guys, I'm saying it because I want you guys to avoid being in a situation that you can't get out of. You want to be able to always have an option. You want to be able to always afford to choose peace. You don't want to, I'm here because he bought me a Birkin, he bought me a Rolex, or he's buying me Chanel. When you are financially stable, you can afford that for yourself. That's not a problem. That would never be your problem. When a man knows that you're only dating him for material goods, control. Because one minute he can say, you know what, give me that Chanel bag that I bought you. Give me that. But when he knows, this bitch can afford that shit, that's nothing to her, the respect is there. Because why? You can always afford to choose peace. So financial independence, depending on a man, 100% is not a flex. It's a risk. That's what these girls won't tell you. Even if he's the provider, have your own income, savings, and investments. Always. Even me right now, do you know what? I could be in my husband's house. I'm already thinking about, I need a little house outside of this. I need to buy a house outside of this. You don't want to be in your 50s and 60s like our mom them, right? Because some of our moms didn't play the game right. And yes, you move into your husband's house and, your husband is paying all the bills and you didn't think about securing your own future. Meaning like, I bought my house, I bought my own, just not even because you're preparing for it not to work. That's an investment, right? You having a property, a real estate property is actually an investment. So it's not about, you're trying to prepare for it not to work. But it's know how men are. We know how they are. We know how they behave. It's like a on and off switch. We know how they behave. 1 minute they're good, and sometimes when you're married for a long period of time, there's gonna be problems, and you want to be able to say, you know what, it's fine. I'm gonna just go stay at my house, my property for a little while to give you some space. It happens. These are normal conversations. No relationship is perfect, so you got to prepare for the imperfect times. Because what if 1 month he may not have as much money? You'd be like, that's fine. I got my investments, savings, income. Bestie say anything but a lie, ladies. Bestie say anything but a lie. Now, as we talked about financial independence, we're going to the third thing. Pay attention to the red flags before the ring. Stop glamorizing the wedding and look at the partner really well. Look at who he is. Look at the family. Look at all the things he's done before. Because some of you think that once he put a ring on your finger, he's going to get better. He showed you who he was before the ring. It's not going to get green. So if it's red, then bitch, you better run. You better run. You better, yeah. You better run. Stop thinking that because a man gives you a ring, that means it's going to change his behavior. It's not. It's absolutely not. If you are not compatible with that man before marriage, you're not going to be compatible in the marriage. Stop wasting your fucking time. A lot of you are wasting your time with these men hoping that, he's going to be my husband. Mind you, because you're wasting so much time with that man, your true husband can't even come and get you because you're wasting so much time hoping that this guy is for you, and he's not. Compatibility is so important. Forget about the money part. The money part is always there. Yes, marry the man with the money. Yes, I'm always going to go for that. Provider. We know that. That's not the question. Are you guys compatible? Love doesn't fix bad character. How does he handle stress? This is something you need to pay attention to. How does that man handle stress? Is he the type of man to abandon? Is he the type of man to have a blowout? Is he the type of man to blame? Is he the type, how does he handle stress? You need to know how the man you're going to marry handles stress, because there's going to be troubles that happen in your marriage, and you want to know that the guy that you married knows how to handle stress with ease. Because what happens when the kids start, misbehaving or finance anything? How does he handle stress? Is he kind? Is he responsible? Is he consistent? Or does he keep making excuses for his behavior? Now, I want to let you guys know this because I don't want it to sound like something that's so far-fetched, right? Like, no man is perfect, but when you explain to a guy when you talk to a guy about his behaviors, right, and things that he's not doing so well, does he make an effort to try to change? Like, you want to deal with the guy that's coachable. Like, you can tell him, all right, babe, I didn't like that. How you handled that wasn't the best. I think you need to start going about it this way. And he's like, okay, you're right, babe. I need to be better with that. Because sometimes, a person may not know how they're acting until you point it out, right? So even if, let's say, for example, the guy that you're potentially thinking about marrying, he may not handle stress well, but because you're dating him, you can tell him, like, babe, the way you handle stress, that's not the way to go about it. You're going to kill yourself before your time. And he says, you know what? You're right, babe. I'm going to, and you see he's progressively trying to be better. That's the kind of guy you want to marry. You never want to marry the guy that does not take your opinion. You want to marry the guy that understands and values your opinions and your takes on certain situations. Okay? Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? And another thing that I can tell you guys for free is don't marry a guy that's prideful. Because that was my last situation. A guy that's prideful. And what do I mean by a guy that's prideful? A guy that can never say sorry. A guy that can't apologize. I want to say this. Don't marry someone for potential. Marry him for who he is. Period. Okay? The fourth one is marriage is more than love. It's a business. And I say this all the time. I don't care what nobody say. I am not in marriage for love. A business. Because it's a partnership, because we vow to take life together. When you marry someone and you obviously want to have kids with them, you are creating the next generation. So you have to think of it like that. It's more than just, oh, I love you. Like I'm a Capricorn. So everything with me, I'm overanalyzing. I'm always calculating. That's the type of woman I am. And if you're a Capricorn here, you know what I'm talking about. We always thinking. We're always trying to make sure we make the right move. A marriage is a business. Stop marrying men for love. It's not about, oh, I love him so much, because after a while, that shit gonna fade. You want to make sure that even when the love fades, you guys stick to the plan. You stick to the plan. Marriage is for better or for worse. You stick to the plan. Like, okay, we plan to make sure we raise the next generation like this. This is the business we're going to have. We're going to have 5 properties. We're going to have this is blah, blah, blah. If it doesn't work out, what are we going to do? Are we going to stay married and separate? How are we going to go about it? Have these discussions. Stop walking into marriage blind. Like, oh shit, nah, I don't know. Like, oh, if we divorce, I don't. Ask him, okay, if we decide to separate, are we going to separate like divorce or just be separated and still be married, legally married? Which one? Okay, if we divorce, how are we going to raise our kids? Is it going to be me taking the kids? And have these discussions? It's really important because it's a business. You have to make sure you marry the person that makes sense. Marry the person that makes sense. Stop going for love and good dick. You're not a kid. You know, when we were like 18, 21, it was all cute. Like, yeah, his dick is so good. Oh my God. You know, he made me come. Oh my God. He made me shiver. But when you marry someone and when you get to your 50s, 60s, all that shit don't matter. It's like, okay, is the money flowing? Is it businesses booming? Marry someone that makes sense. What is important to you is what you should value in a marriage, and do not compromise on it. Stop compromising on your values. When you compromise now, you're going to be compromising the whole relationship. Take it from me, right? So, who you marry affects your money, credit, and stability. Correct? Discuss prenups, wills, and financial planning before you say I do. Don't marry someone you wouldn't trust to make life-changing decisions for. If you can't trust them to make a right decision, don't marry him. Please. Please. Because God forbid, you in the hospital and you like, damn, this man, when he's under pressure, he don't know how to make the right decisions. Please. Right? Can I get some ones in the chat? So let's take it from the top, just in case you guys are a little bit confused, or for those of you who came in. The first one is yourself first. The second one is financial independence. The third one is pay attention to the red flags. The fourth one is marriage is more than love. It's a business. Now we are moving to the fifth one. The fifth one is set boundaries with in-laws early. Yeah. You got to set the boundaries with his family. You got to. If not, it's going to be a nightmare. I'm telling you from experience. Yeah. His family's role in your marriage should be clear from the start. Are you marrying a man or a mama's boy? Do not allow them to be so involved in your marriage. Do not allow in-laws to be so involved in your relationship. For example, if you have a husband that has a sister, there's no reason why you are BFFs. Not healthy. Boundary. It becomes messy because obviously us women, we're going to have girl talk, all these things. You do not need to be BFFs with his side of the family. Respect them. They give you respect, but going out to the club with your sister, with your husband's sister, and hanging out with the cousin, and no, boundaries. Hi, how you doing? Yes, casual conversations, moving on. No BFFs. I have brothers, and obviously they're married, right? But I don't interfere in my brother's relationships because I'm not fucking him. Like some men have weird women in their family. Like, they get so possessive over the man, all because the man is providing, giving, taking care of you. So sometimes the mom, even the sisters, the cousins could be jealous because of the way he's taking good care of you. And it gets so weird. It gets weird. So set healthy boundaries with in-laws. Exactly. The in-laws, their loyalty lies with the brother. And sometimes they befriend you just to see who you truly are. They want to, I want to see how she is when she go to the club. That's why you don't need to be friends with them. Don't be friends with them. You don't need to be friends. You respect them as your in-laws, and that's it. That's as far as it needs to go. Period. Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? My sister-in-law invites me to her house for dinner, and I told her I will get back to her. She got tell her you get back to her. An attitude. I'm happy. Set that boundary now. Unless it's like a Thanksgiving or a holiday party with all the family, that's different. But like to invite you, let's have dinner. No, you don't need to be BFFs. I have enough friends. Yeah. I have enough friends. I don't need to be friends with my in-laws. No. I have enough friends. Thank you. I'll see you Thanksgiving. I'll see you at the Christmas party. I'll see you at New Year's Eve party. That's fine. That's all. That's as far as it goes. Yeah. Thank you. Number 6, right? Number 6, communication will make or break your marriage. Now, a lot of you need to be healthy communicators. Some of you, thank you for the gift. Some of you feel like because you tell a man his problem, he's going to receive it well. And you guys don't realize that you're not communicating, you're actually nagging. A lot of you nag. And you need to identify the difference between nagging and communicating. A lot of you don't know that. Some of you be like, you're not supposed to be doing it like this. That's nagging. Communicating would be, babe, I don't think you should do it like this. You got to do it like this because it makes it easier. X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. Communication. Now, you always do it like this. That's why we never get here on time. Nagging. That's the reason why when you tell a man something, he don't receive it well. And I'm going to tell you guys from experience, when you want to correct your man, you don't correct your man in front of other people. Any man will agree to what I just said. When you want to correct your man, don't correct them in front of the server, the waiter, his friends, your friends. No, you wait till you're private for him to receive the information well. If you try to correct the man in public in front of other people, he's not going to listen. He's not going to listen. If you nag when you're trying to correct him, he's not going to hear it. He's not going to hear it. He's going to say you're nagging because you are. Learn how to be a good communicator because it's not always the men's fault. Sometimes it be your fault too. Okay? How do you both handle conflicts? How do you handle conflicts? Are you the type of person to address the issue right then and there, or do you want time to reflect? Do you think before you speak, or do you speak and then think? Which one? Right? So now, this goes back to analyzing your previous relationships. Because if you were the type of person that spoke before thinking and you realize it always caused conflict, then now as you are maturing, as you are growing, you now know I need to think before I speak because I don't want to say the wrong thing that's going to cause a conflict in my marriage and in my relationship with my fiance. So that's the reason why I told you guys in the beginning of this episode to analyze your past relationships. Because when you analyze your past relationships, you'll be able to know the areas in yourself that you need to grow, where growth needs to happen. So analyze, in the past, was I overly emotional? Use your ex relationships as the blueprint to who you need to be now. That's the only way you're going to be able to step into that wife energy. A lot of you are not finding your husband because you haven't molded yourself to be a wife. Let's clock it. Sorry. The universe is not going to give you what you can't handle. You can't even handle yourself. Why would the universe say, okay, let me give you a husband so you can mess it up? No. So if you're ready to be married, you have to mold yourself to a wife. If you're trying to mold yourself to a wife, you look at all your past relationships, what you did wrong, not the partner, not, he cheated on me, that's why it didn't work. No, what did you contribute to that relationship? What did you do that didn't make it work? Because it takes two to tango, right? Just like how it takes two to make a baby. It takes two for a situation to be a conflict. Because if it wasn't two, then it wouldn't be an issue, right? If someone is yelling and you're not yelling, it's not going to be an argument. You get what I'm saying? It takes two. So if your past relationships did not work, then what did you contribute? And when you can gather all the relationships and gather all what you contributed in every relationship, then you use that as your way to grow. Yeah, okay, I didn't listen. I was too controlling. I was a very jealous person. Once you start growing, you're going to find your husband. The universe is going to push, because now the universe is like, oh, okay, she's a wife now. She's matured. She's ready. Can I get some ones in the chat if you guys are following what I'm saying? Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? So learn how to listen, express yourself clearly, and resolve disagreements without resentment. You got to understand, as I'm maturing, right? As I'm maturing and as I'm growing, I told you guys before I started this episode, I had an issue with my mom, right? And how I would have handled it if I wasn't this matured person you're seeing right now, this person who has grown themselves, I would have cursed her out. I would have like the stuff she said to me, I would have cursed her out. But I was like, you know what? I am not going to sit here and argue with you, because me arguing with you is not going to get to the solution. So I'm going to talk about the solution and leave you to argue with yourself. So you have to address issues from a solution standpoint. So let's say, for example, you and your man is getting into an argument about dishes, right? And, he's always leaving dishes in the sink, and you know what I'm saying? You always told him about how he needs to start contributing to the house, right? So instead of arguing with him about him not doing it, find the solution. Babe, do you think we need a dishwasher? Should we buy a dishwasher so you can put the dishes in the dishwasher and wash the dishes? Like, try to find a solution instead of arguing about the problem. Because if you're so focused on the issue, you're never going to get a solution. Because with every problem, there's a solution. Every problem. But a lot of people, not even relationships, just in finances and in general, people are so focused on the problem instead of the solution. That's the reason why the problem never gets solved. For example, some of you may, I need more money. I need more money. All right, you need more money. What's the solution? Figure out how you can make more money, right? Focus on the solution, not the problem. And that's just a general advice, not even just marriage, a general advice that I can give you guys. Always focus on solution, because every problem has a solution, okay? Can I get some ones in the chat? Let me go from the top just in case you guys missed it. Let's go from the top. Number 1, know yourself first. Number 2, financial independence. We all know how important that is. I told you, ladies, join the Wealth Club. You guys are ready to start making money online, to start your digital business, or to even start a physical business, or to enhance your physical business because you're not making enough money. The Wealth Club is there for you whenever you're ready, not a rush. The third one is pay attention to red flags before the ring. The fourth one is marriage is a business. The fifth one is set boundaries with in-laws early. The sixth one is communication. The seventh one now is how he treats you when he's angry. How does that man treat you when he is angry? Is he the type of person to not do the things he said he was going to do because he's angry? Is he the type of person to tell you, don't use my stuff because he's angry? That matters. Anger brings out true character. And does he verbally abuse you? Is he dismissive, or is he silent for days? You can't deal with that type of guy. Marriage means seeing every version of your partner. Make sure you're okay with that. So every version of him, when he's angry, happy, sad, depressed, horny, money is slow, you have to be okay with every side of your partner. Okay. Number 8 is have the hard conversations early. A lot of people don't have the hard conversations early, which would be kids, parenting style, religion, career goals, where you live, where you want to live, how you want to go about, providing, and who's cooking and cleaning. Is it going to be a nanny? Is it going to be a chef? Okay. Is your duties going to be to take care of the kids only, and his duties is to take care of all the financial aspects? You got to have this conversation early. Have the hard conversations. Do not avoid the hard conversations, because if you avoid the hard conversations, you are going to have hard repercussions later on. Okay? Bougie, it's okay. If you skip these talks and expect your marriage to work out, you're in for a ride. You're in for a ride, okay? You need to have the hard conversations early so you can know what's his point of view on certain things, okay? You need to know who you're marrying, and you need to be okay with that. Are we clear, guys? Let's go from the top before we get to the last two. Let's go from the top. So the first one is know yourself first. As before, even this is not even about marriage. Before you even date, know who you are. Know who the fuck you are. Know you that fucking girl. Because when you know who you are and you know you're that fucking girl, these men can't play in your face because you know you that girl. Stop going into relationships insecure and not knowing who you are. Because when you do that, that's when they play in your face. They play tic-tac-toe 3 in a row, double dutch in your face. Know who the fuck you are. Because when you know you that girl, you be like, what? You not what? Next caller. when you know who you are, it becomes very easy for you to next caller. And you're not going to be worried about, oh my God, what if a guy don't come? What if I don't get the next caller? Because you know you that girl. You know you always going to get the next caller. You know, because I'm that girl and I'm always going to have a next caller. Right? Okay. The second one, financial independence. Have your own money. We all know this. Your money is your insurance policy. Your money gives you the ability to not give a fuck. Your money means you can afford to not give a fuck. Your money means you can afford to always choose peace. Hello? Amen? All right. The third one is pay attention to the red flags. Of course, we already know this. Pay attention to the red flags before the ring. The flags do not get green after a marriage, right? Hello? Amen? The fourth one, marriage is a business. The fifth one is set healthy boundaries. How do I feel about Tony Fitness? I love her. I've been watching her for a long time. I've been watching her from when she first started. I love her consistency. I like who she is. Like, her message never changed. She's always been saying the same thing for years, you know? It just goes to show you that when you stay consistent, you will reap the benefits of you being consistent, right? So, marriage is a business. Number 4. Number 5, set the boundaries with in-laws early. Number 6, communication will make or break you, so know how to communicate. Number 7, how he treats you when he's angry matters. Number 8, have the hard conversation. Now, number 9. This is what I've been telling you guys, and I will stay preaching to you guys until you guys understand what the fuck I be talking about. Don't lose your identity. Do not lose your identity. You see, people are so confused about my relationship status because I have not lost my identity. I didn't come on here like, oh, you have to be a wife. Oh, my husband. I have a life outside of him. So I don't, oh, my husband, my man, my man did this. Oh, I can't eat. My man ate mashed potatoes yesterday. I'm so excited. Some girls be like, oh my God, my man shit green on Tuesday. It was so amazing. I love men. Oh my God, my husband said, my husband is my husband. Bitch, I don't do my husband, my man. I don't play those games because he be pissing me the fuck off. he be pissing me the fuck off. So I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, my man. And then I'm literally pulling out all his hair the next day because I hate these dating coaches that be like, oh, my man, my husband is the best. My husband, he loves me. My husband is always provide. Bitch, you know he ain't doing shit. You know he was fucking Sabrina last weekend. Stop playing. Stop fucking playing with us. Married or not, I know these men ain't shit. So I don't be playing like that. I don't be playing those games. Because, listen, a husband can still embarrass you. Listen, bitch. Your husband can still... The mic's... Oh, it's because I'm freaking bougie. A man can embarrass you. So, boyfriend, that's why these bitches be thinking the rule don't apply to when he's married. You see how these married men be acting? I don't give a fuck, husband or not. Men are embarrassing. Period. Point, period. Full stop. It's better to gas a man up behind closed doors than when you gas him up publicly because some of these bitches be like, oh, that's her husband? All right, bet I'm about to slide on her DM and show her that these niggas are all the same. Right, bitch? They be like, yeah, I'm about to slide in her man's DM and let her know that, yeah, these men are all the same, bitch. So I don't even play like that. I don't want these bitches to play with me because I don't play with them, so don't play with me. Right? So I don't post him. I don't post my man. The only thing you'll probably see is maybe an arm or like an elbow. That's cool. Because you never know. Sometimes you got to switch the men up. You don't, and I'm just saying this advice. I'm giving you guys this advice. You don't post the man, not because of the embarrassment, but what if you got to switch him out? Sometimes you got to switch the player out. Sometimes one player is on timeout. The other player is in the game. So you don't want people asking you, oh, what happened to Latrell that you was posting up and down last week? So you got to make sure you don't post them. Don't post them. Because you got to, you know what I'm saying? It keeps it good for you so people don't ask you any questions. You know what I'm saying? People not going to ask you no questions because you don't post a man. So because you don't post a man, they're not going to know who's on timeout and they're not going to know who's in the game. Right? Clock it. Can I get some ones in the chat? Because that's true. Because some of you bitches be like, oh, I'm posting Latrell because Latrell, he's so good to me. He bought me bags. And then next thing you know, you're not fucking with Latrell no more. Now you posting Anthony. You don't want to keep switching the people. You don't want to keep switching. So don't post these niggas at all. You hear me? Can I get an amen? That relationship, I already know. My new relationship, not posting, not happening. I don't want you to know who he is. Because if I have to switch, you know what I'm saying? I could switch comfortably. Right? Hello. The last one is marry a man with a growth mindset. Looks fade, money fluctuates. But a man who is committed to growth will always be valuable. You have to marry someone who's willing to grow, who's growing, who's evolving, who's constantly changing. You have to understand, change is good. Growth is good. Even you, as you are now, when he first met you, you're not going to be the same person 10 years into the marriage, because you're growing as well. You're becoming better. Be okay with the man who's growing. When you first meet the man you want to marry, he has to first of all check the boxes and know he's going to get better at it. Right? The worst guy, like I said in the beginning, is a guy who's too prideful. Growth, good. Good. Does he read? Does he read? I read, guys. Believe it or not, I've gotten into the habit of reading a book every month. So I read my first book last month. I finished it, and I read my second book this month. I plan to read a book every single month. Sometimes we be like, oh, I don't have time for that. You have time. Make the time. Make the time. I make the time. Even though I be so busy with editing, doing the podcast and running a digital business and all these other things going on, I still make time to read. You need to read as well. Reading will help your brain. Reading will give you the exposure that you need. Sometimes reading will give you the answers that you've been searching for. You know how they say, oh, if you want to hide something, hide it in a book? I swear to God, facts. And if you want to get through a book faster, let me give you guys a tip. What I've learned in reading a book. Listen to the audio version of the book while you're physically reading it. It will help you retain information and you'll get through the book faster. So as you get a physical book and you want to get through it faster, have the physical book and listen to the audio. So you're reading at the same time. You're cutting your reading time in half and you're retaining information. That's a tip that I learned in a book. And I retain so much information by listening to the audio as I'm reading the physical book. Nothing beats having a physical copy, because you can always write, highlight, you tear some pages out. Nothing beats having a physical copy in your hand. Okay? So what was we talking about? Growth. So does he read? Does he invest in himself? He should be investing in himself. As you are always investing in yourself, he should also be doing the same. Whether it be his looks, whether it be changing up his wardrobe, is he achieving his goals, body goals? All these things matter. As you're also growing, he should also be growing alongside with you as well. You guys are never going to be the same. When you marry someone or when you're dating someone, how you meet them, they should not be the same. They should not be the same. A man who refuses to grow will eventually hold you back. I'm going to tell you guys the truth. You want your man to want to be around other men. He needs to network. He needs to have connections. Men need connections. We women, we don't need it. As long as we look good, we go to the place, we get a connection. Men need those connections to get in the room. So you want your man to be, going to events, hanging out with his friends, because that's how they gain information. You got to be okay with that. That's the reason why I keep telling you, ladies, when you're busy with yourself and your self-development and you're making money for yourself, you're not going to be focused on these irrelevant things. These irrelevant, oh, he's with his friends all the time. Oh, why is he not spending time with me? Bitch, do you want a broke man or do you want a rich man? Which one? You got to pick. You got to pick. You gotta pick, because there's gonna be time for you and him. It's always gonna be the you time, but you have to be okay with him hanging out with his friends, because him hanging out with his friends, that's how he's getting all the updates. That's the only way. That's why I keep telling you, ladies, get in the gym, do Pilates, start a business, start your content creation journey. When you're occupied with that, you're not going to be focused on, oh, my man is not spending time with me because he's networking. You're not going to be worried about that, because you're networking too. We're young. We are young. Take advantage of your youth. When you get to 50, 60, you're not going to have the energy to do all this shit. A lot of you are going to be living with regret. A lot of you will be living with regret because you have not taken the chances and the risk you need to take. Take the risk. Yes, you are young. 20s, 30s, 40s, you're young. 30s, 40s, you're still young. When you get to 60, 70, you want to be enjoying. You want to be able to sit down and relax and reap all the benefits of all the investments and all the risks you took when you had the energy. A lot of you are getting in the way of your greatest potential. A lot of you. Some of you are supposed to start that business. You haven't started. Some of you are supposed to start filming. You're like, oh, I'm going to wait till I get a camera. Start now. Start now. If you go to my old videos, if you see the quality, trash. But I was still with the little microphone. I didn't have a big podcast microphone. I didn't have this. I had a small ass microphone. Who remembers me with the small microphone talking with the green plants? Who remember me always filming videos in the car? Who remember those? Even how I looked physically then to now. Growth. I may not fully, of course I have more goals. I want to be bigger, of course. I want to be a huge creator, of course. I want to make sure that all my teachings get to as much women as possible. But let's acknowledge growth. If I hadn't start, I wouldn't be who I am today. So sometimes all it takes is start. Even Tony Fitness. I remember when she had the blob of fat and the muscle, the yellow blob of fat and the muscle. She kept talking about it. How she talks right now about all these the funny witty stuff she says. She's been like that. She's always been like that. But as she's been consistent, now her response is faster. Her responses is faster. I was watching her before I even came on TikTok. And she was really skinny that time. That time she was really, really skinny. And she was always talking. She's always talking fast. You know what I'm saying? Start. Just get started. A lot of you need to get started. Stop worrying about men. A lot of you get in your own way because you're so worried about a man. You're so busy waiting for a man to save you instead of saving yourself. Start today, whatever it is. It could be your content. Even if you have no followers or you get no views, that's okay. You get over time, you get better. Trust me. Where can one start from? So if you want to start a digital business and you don't want to have to buy multiple courses, I would highly recommend the Wealth Club. Do you know why? You have access to unlimited courses and you learn how to create content in there. Now, if you're not in the digital business aspect and you're looking for a physical business, you have to figure out which problem you're looking to solve. Because with any business, in order for you to be successful, you have to be solving a problem. And you have to be passionate about what you're solving. If you don't like what you do, you're not going to be consistent. Like, for example, because I like what I do, I could show up every day. Start your journey. Stop being scared to start. Stop being scared to invest. Do it. Just do it. Trust me, you will reap the benefit. And I'm going to leave you guys with that. If you're here with me live on TikTok, thank you for watching. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you're listening from, thank you for listening. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And you guys already know the rest. Until we meet again.